went into her daughter's bedroom. "Wake up," she whispered softly. Quietly. The little girl rubbed her eyes, confused. Her mother grabbed a phone, turned it off, and carefully hid it inside her daughter's doll. "This is our secret," she said gently. "Don't tell anyone." Then she held her daughter's small hand, walked to the front door, and broke it open. That was the night everything ended. Or maybe that was the night everything began. Once upon a time, she had a beautiful marriage. Her husband loved her, truly loved her. He wasn't always the cold, unstable man people would later see. In the beginning, he was protective, passionate, devoted. He built a world around her, a luxurious home, a respected name, a life many women would envy. But love alone is not enough when a man is broken inside. As a child, he was locked in his room by his mother whenever he made mistakes. She punished him with silence, controlled him with fear. He grew up believing love meant possession, believing control meant protection, believing if he held someone tightly enough, they would never leave. And that fear followed him into marriage. Over time, his love became control. His protection became obsession. His moods became unpredictable. He was bipolar, sometimes warm and gentle, sometimes cold and explosive. And then there was the affair. Not because he stopped loving his wife, but because broken people sometimes search for validation in the wrong places. She endured for her daughter until the night she discovered the truth hidden in the basement. That night, she went downstairs because she heard something. A sound, a whisper, a movement. She unlocked a door she was never meant to open, and inside, there was a woman. Weak, pale, hidden. Alive. The woman her husband had been seeing. But this wasn't just an affair. Something terrible had happened. And instead of protecting the truth, they hid it. That was when she ran. But her husband chased her. He caught up with the car. In that moment, she knew she couldn't win. So she made the most painful decision of her life. She left her daughter in the car and ran into the forest alone. Because the doll held the secret. Evidence. Proof. But while running, the doll slipped from her hands. Her husband found it. He returned home, believing she was gone, believing he still had control. But she kept running. Until headlights blinded her. A car hit her, and everything went black. The man who hit her was a well-known facial plastic surgeon. Calm, intelligent, observant. He took her to the hospital. Immediately. She had no identification. No phone. No name. When she woke up, her first words were not fear. They were instructions. Don't call the police. He hesitated, but something in her eyes told him she wasn't lying. The next day, he had an important hospital ceremony. The main sponsor of the event was a powerful businessman. Her husband. She disguised herself as a waitress and entered the event. Her heart almost stopped when she saw her daughter. She tried to take her, but security recognized her, and someone else saw everything. Mother in law. That woman had always hated her. Cold, calculating. When she checked the security footage from the night of the escape, she understood. Her daughter-in-law knew the basement secret, and if she spoke, everything would collapse. So without telling her son, she hired someone to kill her. The attempt failed. Terrified, exhausted, hunted, she went to the doctor. "Change my face," she begged. "If you don't, I will kill myself." At first, he refused, because he had fallen in love with her. from the moment he saw her. But when she stood on the edge of a building, ready to jump, he had no choice. He agreed. Before surgery, she did something smart. She applied to a cleaning agency. To work as a maid in her own house. So she could return. So she could take her daughter. When the time was right, the surgery was successful. Her face changed. Her voice adjusted. But when she woke up, she didn't remember who she was. Memory loss. Complete. She looked into the mirror and saw a stranger. The doctor believed her completely. Her brother visited the hospital. When he learned she lost her memory, he made the doctor promise, don't tell her who she was. Maybe it was safer that way. Then the cleaning agency called. Didn't understand why she had applied. But something inside her told her to go. Maybe she would remember. So she returned. As a maid. In her own home. The house felt familiar, but painful. Her daughter felt close, distant. Her husband looked at her strangely, and she began to doubt herself. Small memories started returning. Moments. Fragments. She thought maybe she had been his mistress. Maybe she destroyed this family. Maybe she was the reason everything fell apart. Until one day, she opened the basement door again. And everything came back. The locked woman. The lies. Manipulation. The affair. The emotional abuse. The bipolar. Rage. Everything. She began investigating quietly. And the final truth was even more shocking. The woman in the basement was the doctor's sister. She had come from London. Something happened. She fell. Instead of taking her to the hospital immediately, they hid her to avoid scandal. When the doctor realized the truth, something clicked. Her perfume. The way she touched her hair. The way she looked at him. She wasn't just a stranger. She was the wife. He took the child, tried to escape with her. But the little girl screamed, "Help me," to her mother, even though her face was different, even though her voice had changed. Children don't recognize faces. They recognize love. In that moment, the husband understood something devastating. His daughter was asking a stranger for help, which meant he had already lost her. He stopped. His hands trembled. He gave the child to her. And for the first time in his life, he let go, overcome with guilt, trauma, and the realization of everything he had destroyed. He ended his life, not out of hatred, but out of hopelessness. In the end, there was no grand revenge. No loud victory. Just silence, healing, and a new beginning. She kept her new face, but she reclaimed her identity. Not as a victim, not as a stranger, but as a survivor. She raised her daughter with honesty, with calmness. With love. And beside her stood a man who chose protection without control, love without possession. She looked into the mirror one last time, and this time she recognized herself, not because her face was the same, but because her soul was no longer afraid. And that is the story of the stranger in the mirror. A woman who lost her face, lost her memory, lost her life, only to finally find herself